Yes, everybody, welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to an update video on the channel. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And before I forget, Happy New Year to you all. I forgot to say it on the end of my last video, but there's been a little bit of news that I could talk to you guys about today. But it is going to be the final video of 2024. Fantastic year it's been personally and for the channel as well. We've continued to grow, which is brilliant. 18,000 subscribers now, and I firmly do believe we bring you guys the best quality Wolves content out there. So please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. We'll have loads of content coming out with the January transfer window, which we will be talking about a little bit today as well. But before we start off, we have got the news on Matheus Cunha's ban. Now, we've been waiting for this, and rival fans have, of course, been frustrated about this because Matheus has been in decent form over the last few weeks or so, getting goals against Manchester United and against Leicester as well. He did come off with a small knock against Tottenham, which we do hope isn't too serious, but we were half expecting the news of the ban to come within this week, really, and we have had it today. And I think Wolves fans will probably be pleasantly surprised because the statement from the FA has said that Cunha has been suspended for 2 games and been fined £80,000 following the Premier League fixture between Wolves and Ipswich on Saturday the 14th. Look, I don't condone anything that Matheus did at the end of that game. Certainly, I was honestly expecting a suspension to be about 4 or 5 games. So I think a 2-game ban, especially when it only includes 1 Premier League game because we have the FA Cup game in a couple of weeks' time. I think Wolves and Matheus have got off very lightly there, and Wolves fans can be very, very happy with that, considering how bad it could have been, to be completely honest. But I think, that coupled up with how bad that performance was and the comments that Gary O'Neill made after the game, that was just sort of showed how frustrated and unhappy the players were at that time, to be completely honest. And I think that ultimately is one of the few incidents from that evening that pushed Gary O'Neill's job over the edge and ultimately made him lose the job. And look, it's not great to see, but arguably that could be a sliding doors moment for the rest of Wolves' season, to be honest. But I think he's got off very lightly there, and Wolves fans are probably happy with that. I've already seen a lot of rival fans, very disappointed and quite frustrated with that. 1, because it's taken so long, and 2, because of how short the ban is. But yeah, I think that's pretty good for Wolves, considering how bad it could have been. Now, Wolves have made it no secret that they want to be bringing in at least 1 centre-back in January. And we've had 2 or 3 solid rumours over the last 24 hours or so, which I could talk to you about today, which is great because, fingers crossed, it shows Wolves have been quite proactive. We knew many weeks, if not months ago, that Wolves wanted to bring in a centre-back. So you would be hope that they've already sort of got deals in place, or at least working on deals to get these players in sooner rather than later. One name that had been mentioned quite often over the last couple of weeks was the Lens defender, Kevin Danso, Austrian international. Now, Danso, some of you may know of his name, whether it's through playing for Austria or he did have a small stint at Southampton a few years ago in 2019-2020. But really, he's been playing quite well in France in Ligue 1 and been very regular for RC Lens, playing 30 plus games for them in the league for the last 3 seasons. And quite a well thought of defender, and apparently Wolves are now putting work in place to try and get this deal done sooner rather than later, and he is towards the top targets for Wolves. Now, he was linked in the summer. Wolves wanted to have a look at him in the summer. Obviously, for whatever reason, didn't go for him. But does bring a wealth of top flight experience, albeit abroad. Has got a little bit of Premier League experience as well. Capped 24 times for Austria, 6'3", at 26 years of age as well. Now, if reports are to be believed, the French club are in need of a little bit of money as well, so we're open to different avenues. There were reports from Football Insider that maybe they would be open for a loan offer with an option to buy or obligation to buy, which would suit Wolves brilliantly. But the January window is so hard to replace players, so more than likely it would have to be a permanent deal if Wolves want to get this one through sooner rather than later, especially now with the injury of Totti, who's out for at least a month, Craig Dawson, who hasn't been in the best of form. Obviously, Matt Doty's been doing a fine job at centre-back. Hopefully that will continue, but, he's not a natural centre-back, so certainly Wolves do need to get some reinforcements in sooner rather than later. But Kevin Danso at the moment It's been reported on by a lot of reputable sources, seems to be the most likely and top target for Wolves at the moment. Now, second one that was linked yesterday from BBC Sport was Joel Ordaz from Club Brugge over in Belgium. He's 20 years of age, from Ecuador, and he apparently is on that list as well alongside Kevin Danso. Now, this one's an interesting one with Ordaz because he's played both on the left and on the right of a back three for Club Brugge. I'll flag up here, this is a chart made by our friend Joe over at Concept Scouting, who you do see on the podcast every now and then. And this is Ordaz against other centre-backs in the Belgian Pro League. And some of the statistics do look a bit confusing. The best ones, obviously, are his passes into the final third, his progressive runs down at the bottom there, his passing, his forward passes. Some of the more notable ones, his successful defensive actions is really low. Defensive duels is really low. Aerial duels really low. However, that is because Club Brugge are a top side in Belgium. He doesn't have to actually do a hell of a lot defensively. So that's why his numbers are quite skewed compared to probably other centre-backs that are maybe towards the bottom of the Belgian Pro League. But certainly I think in terms of a player that knows the system fairly well, it would make sense to bring Joel Ordaz in. However, what I would say is 20 years of age, doesn't have top 5 league experience as such. Not that that's the be-all and end-all, but you would assume at this stage of the season when Wolves are battling to stay in the Premier League, they're probably wanting players with a little bit more experience than this. I have no doubt that he could be a top player, but is this a risk worth taking for Wolves at the moment? However, you look long-term, Craig Dawson may well be leaving at the end of the season. Wolves probably needed another centre-back anyway on top of that. Bastien Moypu hasn't really been given a shot as of yet. May need a loan out because he's not really been given a first-team opportunity as of yet. But Joel Ordaz as well is another player that Wolves have been linked with. And today, just before I was recording actually, another centre-back link has come up. And this one's quite intriguing. Japhet Tanganga from Millwall. Now, again, you may remember him from Tottenham Hotspur. He's 25 years of age now and having a fantastic season in the Championship for Millwall. He was on loan there last season. His Tottenham contract ran out and he joined the Lions on a free in the summer and been very, very good. Now, Millwall do not want to sell Japhet Tanganga in January. However, it's reported that there was an agreement between him and Millwall that if Premier League interest came, that they would at least consider it. So, I'm intrigued by this one because if you weren't aware, Vitor Pereira made comments about his back three, almost having one centre-back and his two left-sided centre-back, his right-sided centre-backs, almost being his full-backs, like wide centre-backs. Tanganga, if I remember correctly, played a lot as a right-back for Tottenham and that can obviously play as a centre-back as well. So I think he's probably got the attributes to fill that role. Has got Premier League experience, albeit not bags of it. I'd be intrigued by this sign, and I really would. Do I think for him personally it's the right move at the moment? If he's coming into Wolves and getting bags of minutes and guaranteed to be one of the starters, then yes. But if he's only going to come and be a bench player for Wolves, if I was him, I'd probably stay put. Purely because if you actually look at his history, this season is the first time in his career at 25 years of age, he's getting consistent minutes and consistent starts. If you look at all throughout his career, last season he only played 18 games in all competitions, and that was at Millwall because he had a failed loan over in the Bundesliga. Before that, for Tottenham, he played just 7 games in 22-23, 19 games in all competitions in 21-22, which it was only 11 in the Premier League, 13 before that and 11 before that. So in terms of consistent minutes, Tanganga just hasn't had that. However, the profile of players is intriguing. I think he's a wide centre-back, 6 foot tall. Depending on the feel, I would be intrigued by this. And quickly going back to Kevin Danso as well, which I didn't bring up. There's sort of a question mark over him, whether he's classed as homegrown as well. Because Tanganga will obviously bring that. Ordaz wouldn't have to be registered for now. But Kevin Danso was brought up and raised in England. But there's still question marks because during his adulthood from 18 plus, he's not really had enough time in English football. So it's unsure whether he does class as homegrown. But 3 really intriguing centre-back options there for Wolves. I have no doubt Kevin Danso probably fits the criteria that Wolves are after a lot more than the other 2. But Ordaz is an intriguing one, albeit doesn't quite have the experience as of yet. And Tanganga I do like, but again, it's one of those that is a little bit of a risk to bring him in. I think for his own career, I think basically it would cost Wolves probably more than it would need to bring him in, and maybe that's one more to consider for the summer once he continues his fine form, all being well at Millwall as well. But there's 3 rumours for you guys and a little bit of news on the Matheus Cunha saga as well. As always, if you want to hit that like button, please feel free to do so. Hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts on these signings in the comment section down below. And like I said earlier, guys, Happy New Year if you're watching this of the afternoon, if you're watching this when you're getting ready, or if you're having a quiet one in. Enjoy it, whatever you're up to. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in 2025.